Before we start, I'm going to just read off some announcements for people that leave early, or in case I forget to say it. Let's see. So if you can and want to donate, the Venmo is Black Widow Yoga, no spaces. And my email for PayPal is tina@blackwidowyoga.com. And just a shout out to everyone that's been donating that can. Thank you so much. It's why I can bring you these classes every week. It's, you know, bringing me that income that I need, and I really appreciate that. Classes are, as always, Tuesday, Thursdays with me, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sunday, 11 to 11:45 with me. Monday, Power with Brandyn. Wednesday, Metal Mat Pilates with Kate. Friday, 80s Metal Barre with Haley. And as always, you can catch our YouTube videos if you miss any classes. I've been really good about recording them all, which I am right now. Good. And we have brand new designs up on the website. I made all of the patterns available in shorts and capris. The downside of the shorts and capris that you can only get them in up to sizes XL, so I apologize about that. If I could change that, I would. And there's still a 3 to 4 week wait before the item ships, just so you know. So yeah, thanks so much for joining Sabbath Sunday. Let's get our playlist ready. It is public now on my Spotify. First song, Laguna Sunrise. Thought it was perfect. Let's play it in 3, 2, and 1. Make sure I trim this down so y'all can't hear mine. It's good to just make sure the playlist isn't on shuffle. It is on repeat all, in case we go a little over today, which I'm famous for. Any last sips of water or coffee if you're me, because why not? All right. Thanks again for joining. We're grabbing our blanket, the throw blanket that we need for today's class. If you don't have it, it's not a big deal. Just know that we're going to be on the knees a little bit. So maybe you take this moment to run and grab your blanket if you haven't yet. Fix my camera. We're starting on our knees today on the blanket. So we're on the knees. Roll the shoulders down and back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out through the mouth. Deep inhale. And exhale. A few more breaths like that. Just letting the heart melt open, shoulders roll back. Excuse me. You can rest your palms facing up or down. Breathing in and out now through the nose, Ujjayi breath. Your breath is essential to yoga, also called pranayama. Prana is another word for life energy or life force, something that you take in to sustain yourself. Food can be prana, breath is prana. Apana is that which you expel. Apana is your breath out. Apana is something you release that your body no longer needs. And while we think and sit here, we think of what our apana is today. Other than the very scientific definition of what apana is, quite literally, it's the waste product of something that flows through your body. But why don't you think about something a little more metaphorical about your life, something that you're trying to release out into the world, to rid of. Maybe you exhale the extra anxieties. And although you can't exhale all of your anxieties, you just exhale just a little bit. Another exhale, a little bit more. Maybe you're exhaling unusually high expectations of yourself. Sometimes those expectations do us more harm than good. And think of something else you want to rid of, about something going on in your life. And every time you exhale today, think of ridding of that thing and breathing in something new. Gently open your eyes, roll the shoulders down and back. Go ahead, bring the hands, excuse me, bring the hands behind your back, interlace them and peel the chest open with an inhale. With an exhale, bring the hands to hips. So over to your left hip. Bring your interlaced hands over to your left side. Gently tilt the head over to the left. Take a few breaths. Let that head melt down over to your left shoulder. Nice. Bring your interlaced hands back behind you. Peel the chest open with an inhale. With an exhale, bring your interlaced hands over to the right hip. Let the head fall gently over to the right side, right ear to right shoulder. Feeling that left side of your neck peeling open. Breathe here. One more breath. Slowly lift the head, interlace hands still, but pull your hands behind you and open the chest, tilt the head back. Kind of like we're coming into humble warrior. Nice, tilt the head up, release the hands, but interlace them in front of you. Round the spine, shoulder blades peel apart, maybe separate the palms, but keep the fingers interlaced, and bring the chin to your chest. Get a nice stretch along the top of the back. Right along the trapezius. Nice. Let's come off the knees for a second, just to let our feet rest a little. So just walk the hands forward in a tabletop, and you can just tap out the feet a couple times. Roll out the ankles a couple times. Nice. So we're gonna come back on the knees on your blanket. I'm just turning to the side so you can see me better. Now from here, we're gonna lean back. Fingertips pointing forward, leaning back on the hands. Start by drawing your shoulder blades apart. Shoulders come close together in front of you. And then with an inhale, we're gonna puff our chest up, lean back into the heels of the hands and draw the shoulder blades close together. That's with the inhale. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, puffing the chest. Again, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. A couple more times. Inhale. And exhale. Neutral. From here, we're going to take the right hand, point the fingertips behind you. Take the hand a little bit away off the mat to the right side of it, and lean up and over with the left arm, little side bend towards your back. You can round out this arm a couple times, bringing some movement. This other side. Left hand behind you, fingertips pointing back. You can have the hand come a little off the mat, reach up and back with the right. You can make little motions with the arms. Nice. All right, we're coming into tabletop. You can move the blanket away for now. We'll use it very soon, so keep it close by. We're in tabletop. We're doing a couple cat-cows. Inhale, dip the belly, look forward. Exhale, press down around the spine. Inhale. As you inhale, you come into a back bend and you bend the elbows. Exhale, press and round. Inhale, bend elbows. Draw the shoulder blades back away from the ears. Press and round. From here, we're bringing the left hand to the center of the mat. Inhale the right arm to the sky. Open the shoulder up. Reach up to the ceiling. Dive that right arm underneath. Come to the right shoulder, threading the needle. The left palm comes to the floor, elbow pointed up. So you're leaning on that right shoulder, and you might start to look up towards that left shoulder. Taking a few breaths, pressing into the left hand, maybe coming into a deeper twist as you do so. And don't forget to breathe. Press into the left hand to come out. Right hand in the center of the mat. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. With an exhale, we dive the left arm underneath, leaning on the left shoulder. Press the right palm into the floor. Look up towards the ceiling, towards that right shoulder if you can. Really press into that right hand. Maybe it helps you come into a deeper twist and you can look up a little more. Maybe you start to even look up towards the left side of your room. Although from this angle, it looks more like the right. Nice. Slowly press into the right hand, come back up, tabletop, grabbing your blanket. So I'm just unfolding it from the square I had it in, and then I'm gonna roll it down the long way. So it's kind of like this little taller roll. It looks like a mini bolster. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can also use your blocks. I'm gonna put this in front of me, about as far as my shoulders are away from me. Then I'm gonna bring my elbows down to that rolled up blanket, palms together. Walk my knees back away from the rolled up blanket a little bit. So palms are together overhead and drop the head down between the shoulders for Anahatasana or puppy pose. Breathe here. I love this heart opener. Anahatasana literally means heart pose. Anahata is the heart chakra, but it translates to, in the pose version, heart melting pose. To make this a little deeper, you can press your fingertips together and make your palms separate. So essentially you're tenting your fingers, separating them, getting a nice stretch in the shoulders. Take 3 more deep breaths here. Again, you're washing away your apana, something you're ridding of today. In a lot of ways, and I'm from Salem, so I always connect things to witchcraft. Yoga is a lot like witchcraft in a way, I think, because it has a lot to do with intention. And I think that when you set an intention for a practice of yoga, very similar to casting a spell on yourself. So maybe that's how you like to think of yoga. Slowly come up. Now we're unrolling the blanket. We're making it back into our square. It doesn't have to be a square, as long as it provides padding for your knees when we do some lunges very soon. So we come back in our tabletop. We're gonna bring the knees onto the blanket. And then we're gonna bring that left foot forward, coming into a low lunge. You might adjust the blanket, bring it back a little bit, see what feels good. See if you can untuck those back right toes. Swing the arms up, press into the left foot, nice and strong. Arms lower down by your sides, interlace behind your back, and peel open with an inhale. Exhale to stay. You might kind of use your thumbs to grip along that back right thigh. Maybe you walk your hands further down the leg. Nice. Draw the chin up. From here, release the hands. Bring the hands behind or next to your left foot, tented, or you can also take your blocks here, but I'm gonna not try to use my blocks today for people that don't have them. We're gonna inhale, lift the hips up and lift the left toes up, coming into a hamstring stretch, lifting those left toes. Exhale, come back onto the left foot. Inhale back and lift. Exhale to your lunge. And again, go forward and back, just starting to wake up that left hip, wake up the hamstrings. Normally on Sunday morning classes, I like to make it super power focused. But today I figure we have a lot to do today. If you have to go out and see mom or talk to all the moms on, whatever, whoever your mother figure. So I wanted to keep it a little more about stretching and meditation and setting a good intention. That being said, there's always ways to modify and make this a little harder for yourself. You can always tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and kind of do it this way. You can still lift and get your hamstring stretch here. It's a little more challenging. From here, we're settling into the lunge. We're bringing the right hand down to the right side, and we're twisting and looking over the left shoulder. Let's reach back behind us with the left hand. Another option, I'm gonna kind of lean back so you can see it better, but you don't have to lean back here. You can take your left hand and just gently press the left knee to the left side. And when I mean gently, I mean very gently, just gently pressing to the left. Now, if something feels wrong about that, then don't do it. It's kind of that simple thing where, kids ask their mom, it hurts when I do this, and they say, well, don't do that. Same thing about yoga. If it hurts, then don't do it. And you can always find a modified version of it. Bring the left hand down, switch sides. Left knee to blanket, right knee forward, right foot forward. So again, we're kind of shifting back, lifting the right toes, and leaning forward. Forward and back with your breath. Inhaling, bringing the foot down. Exhaling, lifting the hips. Nice. Do this at your own pace, maybe to the music. Finally found the music beat for myself. Nice. Bring the left hand down to the mat. Reach back with the right arm. Looking over the right shoulder. Take a breath. Again, you can always take that right hand and press the right knee a little to the right. Stay in this pose for a moment. I'm just going to see if I can make it a little brighter in my video. When I come closer, it works better. So I'm going to bring this forward. That might be a little better. We'll see. All right. See if that works. Oh. Nice. From here, bring the right knee back onto the blanket. And here's something I had just to make you sweat a little bit, even though I said it was going to be a little easier, but it's modified, so don't worry. Bring the hands down underneath the shoulders. Now pretend like you're coming into a chaturanga, but we're having our knees down and knees and toes tucked behind us. So chaturanga is the high to low push-up. So we're going to shift the shoulders forward over the wrists a little bit and let the head and shoulders lower down, but keep the elbows bent in close to your torso. So as you notice, I'm going to lower down just to show you. My elbows, it's not like a normal push-up where the elbows fly out to the sides. I keep my shoulders rolled back. I keep my elbows in close to my torso because we want to really target those triceps, okay? So high to low, we shift the shoulders forward a little bit and we lower the chest down. Keep the elbows closed, press up with an inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhale, press. Let's do a few more, lower. Press. Do this at your own pace. I'm sure you're all doing it at home. Let's do 3 more. And lower all the way down. You can move the blanket aside. Nice job. Thanks for committing to those push-ups. From here, we're letting the arms come behind us. Go ahead, bring your forehead to the floor. And just shift the hips back and forth. Nice. From here, we're gonna press the tops of the feet down into the mat. We're reaching the arms behind us, and then we're gonna lift the thumbs up. So do a thumbs up and point the thumb in the air. So you have this external rotation in the shoulders and the arms. So we're really drawing the shoulders back. Now press the fist into the floor on either side of you so your thumbs are facing up, kind of like you're hitchhiking. We're gonna lift the chest up. Kind of looks and feels like we might be water surfing on our bellies, and we're pressing the tops of the feet down into the floor and gently pressing the knees down as well. So keep drawing the shoulders up. Breathe here. You can look down to not strain the neck too much. Couple more breaths to stay. Nice. From here, let's bring the legs up. Press the fist down into the floor, lifting the feet, drawing the shoulders back. Even separate your toes and reach the toes towards the back of the room. Don't forget your breath. Staying here for 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Come all the way down. Let your left cheek come to the mat. Turn your head to face the other way, right cheek to the mat. Nice. From here, just kick out the legs a little bit. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. We're gonna press up into Cobra. So come into a nice deep back bend, as deep as you can handle right now. As you notice, my elbows are locked and my shoulders are up high. So let's get rid of that. Bending the elbows and lowering the shoulders away from the ears. Now, if this feels like too much compression in the lower spine for you, you can always walk the hands further away, and you can actually lock the elbows in that way and still keep the shoulders away from the ears. So that's really up to you. We're staying for a few breaths. If your hands are walked away from you, sometimes it's nice to have them a little further apart from each other too, the hands. And that's called seal pose in yin yoga. Drop the chin to chest, stretching out the upper back all the way down to the lower back. Nice. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. We're pressing into child's pose, but don't get too comfortable. Inhale, come back into a cobra. Exhale to stay. Inhale, child's. Exhale, stay. Inhale, exhale forward. Inhale, and exhale back. Couple more times, forward and back, cobra and child. And I have my toes tucked behind me because I find it helps with stability of my knees, but you might like your toes untucked, it's up to you. Nice. We meet in tabletop and we prepare, excuse me, for our downward dog, but let's go ahead and bring that blanket back to the middle. Ready to help our knees. Lifting the hips. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Finding a little bit of stillness or really slow movements. Your breath is your friend. Excuse me. When you're doing yoga, your breath is what helps you keep you focused. So always remember, if you're having one of those days where your mind is wandering, just bring your mind to your inhale and your exhale. And think of that thing that you're letting go of and the thing that you're taking in more of. From here, sink the heels down, find a moment of stillness. Take 4 deep breaths to stay. Press into the hands. Maybe you close the eyes. Not an easy pose. Good job though, you're doing great. I can see you guys. Bring the left foot to the center of the mat, inhale the right leg up. Sink that left heel down. Lift the right leg a little higher. Draw the knee to nose. Inhale, lift it up and back. Knee to nose. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, step it through. Stay in a high lunge for now. So keep that back left knee lifted off the ground. We're gonna shift a little forward and back with the hands tented next to that right foot. So we're leaning into the fingertips, shifting forward and back. Nice. Let's lower down that left knee onto the blanket. Let's reach back behind us again with the right arm. And if you want to come into that deep quad stretch, if you have it there today, go ahead, bend that left knee, grab the foot with the right hand. If you have it, maybe you press the foot into the hand, you open up that right shoulder even more, looking back. Release the foot, coming down, back into your downward dog. Step the right foot back. Let's go right into the other side, right foot in the center of the mat. Left leg lifts up, knee to nose, but exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Knee to nose, step all the way through. Keep that back right knee lifted for now. Shifting a little forward and back. Just waking up the hips. Nice. Go ahead and lower that right knee down softly. Right hand to the mat. Left arm reaches back with a twist. And you can bend the right knee and see if you can grab that foot for a deep quad stretch. If you do use a strap at home and you find that this pose is hard to do, this is a great place to use the strap. It's kind of hard because you have to go fishing for your foot, throw the strap back, kind of wheel it in. But once you have it, it's a great place to practice this stretch. Bend that right elbow, lean into that right arm a little bit. A little tricep work. Maybe press the foot into the hand, this side as well, opening that left shoulder. Release the foot, hand comes down, downward facing. Pedal out the heels, take a few breaths. From here, left foot to the center of the mat, inhale the right leg up. Open the hip, bend the knee. And let's see if we want to drop the foot behind us, flipping our dog, reaching the right arm to the sky. Lift the hips up a little higher. Maybe you make little circles with that right arm. Maybe doing it to the music. Kind of reminds me of air guitar. And let's lower down. Downward dog. Both feet down. Right foot to the center, left leg lifts. Bend the knee, open the hip, and flip your dog. Reaching that left arm up. Reaching the hips up. And a little of that air guitar, sweeping the arm around. Either direction. Bring a little bit of dance into your flow. Nice, look down, downward facing dog. Let's take a breath and relax. Lower the knees down, child's pose. Sit back onto the heels. Rest the forehead down. Take a few breaths. Nice, let's come back up. Let's bring our forearms down in front of us, interlacing the hands together, remaining on your forearms. Step the feet back. Let's come into a forearm plank. I know I said I wouldn't kill you with power yoga today, but we all love a little plank, don't we? Press into the forearms, press into the interlaced hands. Stay, press back into the heels. Sometimes if you have a hard time staying in this pose, shifting forward and back can be nice. It can make it harder, but it can make you think about staying in the pose for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees down. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Downward facing dog. Move the blanket to the side of your mat. And just walk the feet to the hands at the front of your mat. Nice forward fold. Let's separate the feet a little more. Heel toe them further apart. Grab opposite hands to opposite elbows. Take a ragdoll. You can bend the knees. You can keep the knees straight. It's up to you what feels good. Swaying a little side to side. Letting the head totally go. From here, stay in your ragdoll, interlace the hands together, and bring it behind the base of your skull. And kind of draw your elbows together so you're squeezing your head with your arms and gently moving side to side. Just encouraging your head to be heavier. Release the hands to the floor, heel toe the feet underneath the hips. Taking gorilla pose, which means you take your palms and you slide them under your feet, palms facing up. You can always bring big bends to the knees or little bends, whatever feels good. Lift the tailbone up and look between your knees. Breathe. Maybe you see if you can gently straighten the knees a little bit. Of course, if it doesn't feel good, try not to lock them totally, but just gently pulsing them to see if they go a little straighter. Release the feet, inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Again, inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up to rise. Inhale, exhale, hands to heart center. We're finally in a standing pose. Stay here for a moment. Draw the shoulders down and back. Press into the feet. Lift the heels just a couple inches. Just so they're hovering. It should be hard already. If it's not, then get even higher on your toes. Pressing into the toes, lifting the heels even more. Focus on something maybe on your wall. Keeping you focused. Draw the shoulder blades together. Lift the arms up, reach toward the sky as you stay balancing on your feet, lifting the heels. Let's make this even more challenging. Keep your arms lifted and raised. Let's sink back into a chair pose. Start to sink back, shifting your weight, but staying balanced. Nice. Let's bring the hands to heart center. Twist over to the right, staying on your toes. Whew. Getting the shakes. Come to center. Twist over to the left. Staying on your toes. Back into your regular chair. Lower the heels down. Nice job. Stay in your chair pose. Lift the toes up and off the mat, staying in chair. Take an inhale. As you exhale, press into your feet, let the arms come down and stand. Inhale, sweep arms up, chair. Exhale, down and stand. Again, inhale, exhale. Keep going, inhale, exhale. At your own pace, inhaling with a stand, exhaling with a lower. Maybe you find the beat of the music here. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and stay in your chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Let's step one foot back and the other for plank pose. Come high to low push-up. You can always modify with knees down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing to downward facing dog. Excuse me. From here, we take the right foot, step it through, coming into warrior one because we're doing a sun B. Sweep the arms up, warrior one pose, Virabhadrasana 1. Let's take that humble warrior. Let the arms come down, interlace behind your back or grab your strap, peel the chest open. Exhale, chest comes down. Head drops, looking back. Drop the hands, step the right foot back, plank. Let's come high to low. Inhale to exhale, downward facing. Left foot goes, left foot forward, right heel lowers down. Warrior one pose. Find strength, lower the shoulders back. Arms come down, interlace, this time the opposite way you did before. Peel the chest open with an inhale. Exhale, chest comes down, looking back at the right. Nice. Hands lower down, step it back, high to low. Inhale to exhale, downward facing. Looking forward, let's just walk the feet to the hands, nice and slow. Nice job. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Take a breath in your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms for chair, Utkatasana. And exhale, stand. Stay here for a moment. Let's look at the arms and reach up. Hook the thumbs together. Lift the arms, lift the chest. Exhale, bend over to your left side. Look up towards that right elbow. Press into the feet. Engage the core, suck the belly in. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, bend to the right, look at your left elbow. Uddiyana Bandha is when you suck in your belly. Helps protect the spine. Again, inhale back to center. Exhale to left. Inhale to exhale. Coming through to center. Let's bring the hands down to heart center. Now, believe it or not, we only did one sun salutation and it's almost time to come down to our mat again. So before we come down into a relaxation mode, I did want to do one challenge pose. I wish this would focus better on me. So it's nice if you have a block. If you don't have one, don't worry. You don't need it. It's just a nice addition. So let's grab our blankets too. They don't need to be, the blanket doesn't need to be very tall. So you can unfold it so it kind of covers the length of your mat. I'm just going to bring my knees to it. And I'm going to bring my block between my thighs. Actually, before we do that, let's take the block out between our thighs since maybe some of us don't have the block. So let's tuck the toes underneath and sit down on the heels. Taking our hands, so we're gonna have it so the thumb is inside of the ankle and the fingers are wrapped around the outside of the foot on each side. Gripping our feet, toes are tucked. Now from here, I think you remember how we started, not the very first thing, but how we did kind of the cat-cow, opening and closing the shoulders. We're gonna do a very similar thing. That's how we're gonna safely get into camel pose. Okay, Ustrasana. So I'll show you a way where it's not really a great idea to come into camel pose a certain way. So feel free to untuck your toes so you don't stress out the toes too much. So I'll kind of show you the no-nos of camel pose. So one way to do it is dropping back one side and the other in a super extreme way, which doesn't even work for my back, right? One then the other, ooh, that seems horrible. Not really good to crush into one side then the other. You want to try and do it both at the same time, not crushing obviously, but when you come into camel pose, it's such a deep back bend for so many of us that you want to make sure it's even on both sides when you come into the back bend. So you're not compressing one side of your body more than the other. So one way to avoid that is by doing it this way we're about to do. So go ahead, tuck the toes once again and grip the ankles or the heels of the feet. Fingers wrapped around the outside of the feet, thumbs inside. We're starting by doing that little cat-cow, touching the shoulder blades behind us together, opening the chest, take an inhale, take an exhale. Now take an inhale and start to open the chest even more, lifting the hips slightly. Kind of feels like a bridge pose. Maybe you start to lift the hips even more, draw the shoulder blades together. Nice job. Let's come down and do it again. Inhale to stay, exhale to stay, inhale to lift. Exhale to stay. Nice. You don't want to take your head off here, so dropping the head is not a great idea. It's not going to like kill you or anything, but definitely not something you need to do. So keeping the head on is a good idea. You can look slightly up. Stay here for another breath if it feels good. And it's also why we stretched out the front of the legs, the hips. We did those lunges to open up the front side of the body. Nice. Slowly come down back onto the heels. Now that's something to practice at home. A great way to do it. Again, you're coming in both sides at the same time. You're coming down both sides at the same time. Just keep that in mind. Let's do the opposite kind of stretch. So whenever you do something like a deep type of stretch in yoga, you want to complement it with a resting pose that is the opposite type of stretch. So since we did a back bend, we're going to round the spine, come into child's pose. Balasana. You can have the arms reach forward or back. Actually, sometimes having the arms come back can be even nicer because it lets the shoulders fall in towards the ears, getting even more of an opposite pose than we just did. Stay here, take about 3 breaths to rest. Nice job. Lifting back up, let's move the blanket aside again. Let's come all the way down onto our backs. Feet out in front of us. And I love ending with bridge, so you probably know already that we're doing bridge. Arms down, pressing by our sides, press into the feet, lift the hips for bridge pose. Press the palms down. Now we don't have to puff up the chest too much for it to be bridge. You can do that. You can kind of wiggle the shoulders underneath you more, so the shoulders are closer together. You have more of a heart opening pose here, but really if you keep your from your tip of your knees down to your shoulders, kind of just one steady incline, then that can be a really nice pose as well. And you're still getting work in the thighs, you're still getting work in the glutes. I think sometimes when we do that big heart opener, puff the chest up and roll the shoulders under, we lose that strength building pose. So let's see if we can do it without doing that. Pressing into the feet. Let's lift the arms up and behind us. staying in bridge pose. So palms are facing up. Nice. Slowly lower the hips down. Let's bring the feet together, soles of the feet together, knees open up to the sides for Supta Baddha Konasana. You can rest the hands in the inner thighs. Take a breath. Remember your breath. So easy to forget, isn't it? I honestly think that is one of the hardest things about yoga. Some people think it's the hard poses, but I think it's focusing on breath because I struggle every time to remember throughout the whole practice. It's just such a new thing to train your mind to be mindful for a prolonged period of time. So don't get down on yourself if you also struggle with remembering to focus on breath. And from here, you guessed it, it's Shavasana time. So if you want to have your Shavasana in Supta Baddha Konasana, you can do that. Supta Baddha Konasana is this big hip opener. A lot of times when people do this for Shavasana, they end up moving halfway through, which is totally fine because it can be a little too much on the hips. So if you keep this pose, feel free to move out of it. Otherwise, you can straighten the legs out in front of you. Maybe you find it comfortable to rest one hand over the chest and one over the belly. Everyone take a deep inhale. Exhale, open mouth, release. Now remember what your apana is today other than your exhales. What is that thing you're releasing? What is that thing you're letting go of? And what are you replacing it with? Because when you remove something from your routine, from your body, from your life, there's room for something new. And what do you want to replace that? That thing that no longer serves you? What will serve you more? And if, again, you want to think of it as witchcraft, I think that's a great idea. Basically casting a spell on yourself with intention. So take a big breath in, taking that thing in that you want more of. Hold it in your body. And exhale your apana. Feeling lighter. Coming to your natural breath. Feeling with one hand your heartbeat, maybe both hands. Maybe you notice that your fingers are a little cold on your body. Maybe you notice the contrast of your warm body with the cold air. Maybe you see the light gently shining through your eyelids. Listening to the music. Maybe you hear birds, sounds of the city or the neighborhood. Maybe all you hear is the music and a gentle breeze outside. Just softly noticing your surroundings, noticing your body. Maybe you say to yourself, or you say in your head, I am enough. And know that if you want change for yourself, it should come from a place of love and not a place of feeling insecure, not liking yourself enough. Real change only sprouts from love. Take a few more breaths. I spend today's class laying on the floor because it's just so comfy here. And it reminds us of bed, so why not? Let's keep our hands over our heart and stomach. Continuing to show ourselves some love and gratitude. Thankful for the ones we have. Thankful for our families and for our family and friends. Thankful for your health and your body. Thankful for the air you breathe. The light and dark in me loves and honors the light and dark in you. And together we say, Namaste. Feel free to stay on the floor as long as you like. Oh, take your nap of the first nap of the day. Oh, I'm yawning now. Oh. Thank you all so much for coming and joining me for Sabbath Sunday. I'll be doing this every other week to replace the Sunday class. Same time, same style. Maybe next week will be a little more high-paced. I just thought today would be nice to be a little more meditative. Feel free to stick around. I did post on the event that you can stick around and chat. You know, some people are living alone and I want everyone to be able to chat and get to know each other, just like normal metal yoga classes. We've all become very close friends. So if you're new to that, maybe you don't know that aspect yet. Today is Sunday and tomorrow is Power Metal Yoga with Brandyn. Tuesday and Thursday with me at night. Wednesday is going to be Metal Mat Pilates with Kate. Friday is 80s Metal Barre with Haley. And Sunday again for Metal Yoga. So thanks so much for coming. And feel free to email me at tina@blacklightingyoga.com if you have questions. And if you can and want to donate, you can do so. Suggested donation is $6.66 or whatever you want.